Single source lighting is a technique that we can use to get really beautiful results with very, very minimal equipment. So today we're going to talk about setting up our key light. We're going to talk about that Rembrandt light, maybe a little bit of bounce, and that's it. Beautiful, beautiful results. Very, very simple setup. Thanks for being here. This is the Neewer Academy. Single point lighting. Easy, minimal, dramatic light. You'll see that in a minute. I've really turned the ambient light of the studio down. So when this guy powers up, you're not going to see much other than this light, which is good. That's what we want. So let's talk about our light really quick. This is the 660 from Neewer. Oh, and Shelby. This is Shelby. Let's not forget Shelby. Shelby's agreed to be our model, and she's just going to be doing a lot of staring. But it's a brave job, so thanks so much. So our Neewer, these are the 660 Pros. You can see immediately I've got my batteries on the back. I really like that. It lets me take this thing, move it wherever I want. Cables aren't snaking everywhere. I don't have to worry about my power. I like the batteries. Recommend those. I've got my barn doors open. You can see right now, this light's going to be angled pretty steep. So you can see my barn doors are going to be colliding with the yoke. So what I'm going to do is pull it up, and I'm going to mount it horizontal on the stand instead of vertical. And that's going to give us just a really nice range of motion. Neewer stand, Neewer light, Neewer backdrop. We just got that put up. This tripod also, all on the website. All nice stuff. All right, so here's our light. Let's click it on. Let's talk about it. So, not flattering as it stands right now. These give us the ability to go up and down the Kelvin scale. So right now I'm 5500 Kelvin. My cameras are matched to that. Speaking of cameras, on our Neewer tripod is what I'm thinking is sort of the final frame. So we'll cut to this so you can kind of see how the light's going to be sculpting our final frame. So I'm thinking of this as a dramatic portrait. You could also set lighting up like this for an interview. Be a pretty dramatic interview, but hey, maybe that's what you're going for. So let's take a look at our key light. So when we're talking about single point lighting, we're only going to be setting up a key light. So what we're going to be looking for in this is what you typically call kind of the Rembrandt light, which is going to be something like that. This is just a nice flattering light. There's a few kind of hallmarks of Rembrandt. We've got this triangle coming down. We're high, so our shadows are going down the face. We light our shoulder, we get this nice light on the head. That triangle of light, that's kind of the hallmark. And depending on the placement, you can sort of see different effects kind of happening with the light. I always like the candle light, campfire. You can do all sorts of stuff. We're going to aim for this kind of Rembrandt light for this shoot. So what I like to do, especially with a light like this, that's light, it doesn't get hot, we can actually kind of use it mobile to find exactly where we want it. And then we can work backwards and get our light stand set up. I'm going to raise it back up to where I liked it before. And once we've found it, we can start to make some other adjustments. So one thing is our barn doors can really help us cut this light down, isolate this light. In a future video, I might talk about cutting light dramatically, really blacking out areas. But the barn doors are really nice to adjust this to kind of isolate what we're looking for specifically. So right there, you can see I've got those pretty far down. And just watch your light as you're doing it. You can make your own adjustments. But as I'm going down, I'm really getting the light away from my background, and I'm isolating it right where it needs to be. And I really like it. So we've got really, really harsh contrast now is the only thing. So when we only have one light, we end up with, really nice looking light on the side of the face where it's pointing, but on the opposite side of the face, and especially under the neck and these areas, deep, deep shadows. So we'll talk about how to fix those in a second, but as it stands right now, really simple, one light, I think we've got a really nice looking frame. But like I said, very contrasty. So what we can do to kind of fight that, again, we're trying to keep our equipment very minimal. 5-in-1 reflector. This should be a staple in every photographer, every videographer's equipment bag. These things come in really, really handy. So the way these work is you have different reflective sides. You've got a gold side, a silver side, a black side if you just want to cut light out. And there's also a sheer material covering the inside where you can actually use it as diffusion to point light through it. We're going to use the reflective side. So I'm going to come around here. So what we're going to do with this is just catch our key light, bounce it back with our shiny reflector side. And if you really blast it, you get this like really hard light. That's not really what we're looking for. What I like to do with this is kind of edge it off a little bit, like right there. Now that way we're filling in those shadows a little bit, but we're still keeping that contrast that we like. And then you can see what happens if we take it out. Now personally, I really like the dark contrast of this style of light. So I'm gonna keep the bounce out, and I like this. This is gonna be my final frame. So that's it. Single light, a little bit of bounce, and we got some really nice results. Thank you guys for watching. Anything you'd like to see in future videos, let us know. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.